My late husband's friend tried to hijack his memorial service. I called the police.
Beep, boop, bop, boop. Hello, he's stealing the body.
I'll try to make this brief. My husband, Jonah, passed away unexpectedly a month ago from a stroke. I don't want to get specifically about that part. The worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And I'm still not sure how I'm going to ever move on. By the way, this comes from Angry Widow. And if you want to submit your own stories, please go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we were married for 5 years, together for 7. And the past 2 years, we've been trying for a baby. But we were just getting to the point of considering IVF when he fell asleep into eternity. Jonah had a close friend from high school. Let's name him Marjorie. Marjorie also ended up going to the same university as he did, and they spent a lot of time together during those college years. Jonah said that he liked Marjorie's company, but never felt anything beyond friendship with her, which I totally believe. Jonah dated other women during that period, but he told me that several times Marjorie hinted that she wanted him to ask her out. She also joked about wanting him to be her plan B in case she didn't meet someone and get married by 30. By the time I started dating Jonah, he had moved a couple hours away from his hometown and Marjorie. Despite this, Marjorie immediately began finding excuses to come to our town and hang out, which usually involved her encouraging us to go drinking, and then her passing out on the couch at Jonah's apartment. I didn't mind her for the most part, but she had a habit of saying things like, "You know you ruined our marriage pact," and pointing out all the things she knew about him, like how he took his coffee and his favorite bands, etc. Over the course of our relationship, and especially after we got married, Jonah definitely put some more distance between his relationship with Marjorie. He confided in me that he felt he had outgrown her and that they had really little in common anymore. I understand that feeling. He stopped responding to her invitations to hang out as often, though he would occasionally call to catch up out of guilt, especially when she would text him or leave messages saying she was so sad he was ignoring her, and things like that. But now he's gone. I had him cremated like he wanted. We haven't done the memorial service yet. It was too hard for me to even imagine the first couple of weeks. And I also wanted to give time for some out-of-state people to make travel plans. The memorial was this weekend. However, 2 weeks ago, I received an email from Marjorie sent to around 60 people, including Jonah's family, saying that she was holding a memorial service for Jonah in the town where they grew up the day before his memorial. I was completely blown away, seeing as she hadn't mentioned anything to me or even attempted to call. Yeah, usually the partner of the person who's passed away should be involved in any sort of plans around the memorial service.
That's making me angry.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how I'd feel if I found this out about like my theoretical. Yeah, no.
Along with the details, the email said that she was planning the memorial in light of the fact that no other service had been held in his memory, and he deserved to be laid to rest with honor. For the record, she was invited to the memorial, which I had been planning and knew it was happening. I called her, of course, and told her that while I appreciated her willingness to help with Jonah's goodbye, I was already planning a service for him that would involve all of his family and friends. She immediately went on the defensive and said that she had only started to plan a service when she realized I wasn't willing to do it in a timely manner. Seems like OP is dealing with the fact that, oh, her husband's gone. Yeah, and usually time doesn't work because you thought you'd have more time with your partner. So she's trying to wrap her head around that. Plus, she's also being considerate of other people's time, trying to make arrangements because they don't live in the same state as OP's husband.
I'm crashing out on this. I'm sorry. I would crash out. I don't think I can give like real logical advice for OP here because I would crash out so hard on this woman.
This is crazy, dude. I told her that the timing wasn't her choice to make, but if that she wanted to have a memorial of some kind, to please just add on the invitation that his official memorial was going to be held this weekend. She said fine. I sent the message to all of Jonah's invited friends and family to make sure they knew the real service with both of our families was going to be there, and then just washed my hands of the whole thing. This week I received a message on Facebook from Jonah's cousin saying Marjorie, who has apparently blocked me on Facebook, created an event for Jonah's official memorial service, her memorial, and invited everyone she possibly could. I've been getting blown up with emails asking which day the memorial is and where. I'm honestly furious. I don't have the emotional energy to deal with this. I ended up putting a post on my wall reiterating the date of his service here and asking people to please share it. Thankfully, I think the older members of the family don't use Facebook or email very often, so most of them hadn't been confused, but a lot of people now think that Marjorie's service is the real one. If you don't know who OP is, then go to Marjorie's thing because don't like why?
Yeah,
Come
at
on,
this
go to the
point-
live service. Come on.
At this point, anyone who doesn't know that his wife is the one having the real memorial doesn't matter. And that's,
You're wild.
and we can only be upset for so long before we make a joke.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we gotta put some haha in there.
But
I called Marjorie again, asking her to add an addendum to her event, saying that his actual memorial was going to be here. He told me that Jonah would have wanted it this way, and that if I couldn't appreciate her efforts, I wasn't invited to say goodbye to Jonah. I told her that was fine, seeing I had already said goodbye to Jonah when I held him as he fell into eternal sleep. She hung up. Apparently, she's now spreading information to her mutual friends with Jonah, saying that he was planning on leaving me because I wasn't able to conceive. She also said we had approached her to carry a baby for us. All absolute lies. His cousin sent me a screenshot of a text where she said that Jonah always thought we would have the cutest baby together and that Angry Willow doesn't understand how much he wants children. I'm at a loss of what to do, like Dakota is with my joke. I don't care what she says about me, but she's now tarnishing my husband's memory, especially saying that he wanted to divorce. Jonah would never have left me, and anyone that knows him at all knows that we were committed to each other above all else. I need to figure out how to tell this woman to F off without encouraging her to spread more lies. I also want to just forget the whole thing and crawl in bed and never get up again. Aw, please help me. I'm apologizing for not updating sooner. A lot has happened in the last couple of days. For those that offered monetary assistance, Jonah and I were in a stable position financially, and I'm going to be comfortable until I decide to go back to work. Your willingness to help was deeply appreciated. However, I'm truly blown over by your kindness. I took the advice of the majority of comments and called the chapel where Marjorie was planning her service. Oh, let's go. I spoke with the pastor who immediately told me that he had been trying to get in touch with me regarding the service. Apparently, both Jonah and Marjorie had grown up in that church. I'm not religious, and neither was Jonah as an adult. My voicemail has been flooded, so it's definitely plausible that I overlooked his call. He immediately expressed how sorry he was to hear of Jonah's loss. Aw. And he said he had received my contact info from Jonah's great aunt, who still attends there. He said he was surprised when Marjorie asked to have a service for Jonah, but she had claimed that Jonah and I were separated and I didn't want to be involved. He said he had been trying to follow up with me, but obviously that didn't happen. He was very apologetic and said that we could cancel the service or move forward in any way that felt right to me.
W pastor.
He said he knew that the church members would appreciate the service since many of them remembered Jonah as a boy, but obviously Marjorie would no longer have a role. I agreed that the service could go forward. He called to speak with Marjorie after our conversation and informed her that she was no longer welcome to participate in the organization of the service after her behavior. He wouldn't tell me all what she said, but says she was distraught, and he recommended some mental health and spiritual services to her that he hopes she accepts. Dude, I know that this woman cussed him out, and he was like, no need to worry about what she said. The Lord's going to help her in time, but just, it's all, I got it. We're figured it out.
Yeah.
Dude, W.
Yeah.
She apparently apologized for lying and asked to speak with me, but I declined. I feel bad if she's truly contrite. I just have too much on my plate right now. We had 2 beautiful services for my husband. The first one is at his hometown church, and then the non-religious one that I had planned. Everyone that came wanted to honor Jonah, but that's all that really mattered. I was told a dozen stories about him that I had never heard before, and I laughed so hard I cried, then cried some more. Oh, my cousin was on the outlook for Marjorie, and I honestly didn't think about her the whole weekend. She turned up for the first service, and the pastor ended up speaking with her, unbeknownst to me. My cousin says she was sympathetic but firm and told her that her presence there would be inappropriate. Surprisingly, she left without a fuss. I'm not sure the situation is entirely resolved, but I got to lay my husband to rest in the way he deserved, and that's the most important thing to me right now. Thanks to everyone for your support. Edit, I debated whether or not to mention this, but this community has been so awesome, I thought I might as well. I realized this weekend that I had missed my period, and I'm usually like clockwork. It couldn't be stress, but I'm going to take a test later. Can't decide if I'm credibly hopeful or absolutely terrified. Edit, not pregnant.
Thank God.
It was a long shot. Thank God. Well, she wanted kids with him.
I know, but like, I don't know.
Thanks for your support. She wanted to kiss them. She thought it was a little blessing.
We can do that, but it's like, I don't know.
They were thinking about IVF. Like they were wanting to have kids.
Yeah.
She seemed kind of naughty about it.
I don't know. It just seems like
I think it would be sweet.
I think you would want, I don't know.
I think she would
It's
want a part
definitely
of him
sweet.
with
The
her.
sentiment is not what I'm concerned about. It's more about the reality of it.
Oh, I think she'd want the kid even if it was hard.
But I think
They seem pretty good though. Update 2. I'm not sure if anyone will ever remember this post, but I thought I would update since it's been a few months. I haven't been checking my inbox, and I'm sort of amazed I remembered the password at all. Blah, 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 blah. It's been around 5 months since Jonah fell into eternal sleep, and honestly, it feels like I'm waking up and living the same day over and over. I'm in therapy, but the feeling of grief has not subsided whatsoever. Everything reminds me of Jonah, and I still feel like half of me is gone. I'm considering moving out of the country, or at least in a different state. But I also feel like a piece of Jonah is here in the house where we lived. Even worse, Marjorie has not disappeared. I deleted my social media a couple of months ago in an attempt to simplify my life, but my cousin, who knows Marjorie, let me know that she has been recently posting pictures of herself on Facebook with Jonah. Some were from several years ago, but she's saying things like, I still miss my man every day, and I can't wait until Jonah's baby arrives. She's apparently pregnant and claiming that the baby is my husband's. She has also photoshopped his face onto several photos. Some on another shirtless male posting seemingly suggestively with her. The photoshopping is pretty good, but it's obvious it's not my husband's body. People have been saying things like, congratulations, we know you'll be a great mother to Jonah's child. Nobody I knew, thankfully. It honestly made me feel sick, and I went and laid in bed pretty much all day. I hate that she's getting to me like this, but I can't stand the thought that she's claiming my husband was unfaithful to me and that people aren't believing it.
But do these people that you don't know even know that he was your husband? Like, that's the thing. It's like, these are people you don't know. So Marjorie's probably telling them that Jonah was her husband.
Yeah.
And like, who knows?
Happening here? What is happening? Goodness gracious. One bright note, Marjorie's brother, who also knew Jonah, on one of her recent posts, he commented, "What the F, Marjorie? I spoke to Jonah like 2 weeks before he fell into eternal sleep, and he said he was trying for a baby with Kelly. You guys are just friends. This is effed up, and you know it."
Yeah.
The post was deleted a couple of hours. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have the energy to bottle this woman, but I'm infuriated and hurt by this blatantly disrespectful pack of lies that she's spreading. My cousin called her and asked that she remove the photos, but she apparently said that Angry Willow can go to HE double hockey sticks. She just doesn't want to accept that Jonah wanted a baby with me more, and she couldn't give him one. I'm lost. What can I do about this? It seems like all I can do is sit and watch this crazy woman try to convince Jonah's friends and family that he never loved me, and we got an update, bro.
I don't know. Can she be sued for libel?
I think so.
Can
I think so.
She be prosecuted for false and like morally incriminating or disparaging information being spread about Jonah?
Dude, I hope.
Because it's like, that's not true. And it makes him look like an infidelitous piece of crap guy.
Yeah.
So his family, I don't know if his parents can like post-mortem be like, we're like suing to have this woman like, to make it like illegal for her to speak about Jonah.
Have to.
Is slander spoken, right? Or is libel spoken? I can never remember. I always get them mixed up.
Libel spoken. Or sign. I don't know.
Yeah, but regardless, it's like this is damaging information if people believe it.
Yeah. Damaging to Opie's name.
But it's like, other than that, go to bat for yourself, you know? I know you say you're exhausted and you don't want to deal with it. I wouldn't either, but it's like, you'll probably find some level of catharsis to like fire back. I wouldn't become obsessed with it, but like, at least like if you see something that's crazy, be like, that was my husband, you're crazy. You know, anyone who believes this, she's lying.
Update, I just spoke with Marjorie's brother, who called me to tell me that Marjorie is not pregnant.
Of course.
But seems to truly believe that she is. He asked her how far along she is, and she said 5 months, but she is completely flat. He isn't sure if she's lying or if she actually believes she's having a child with my husband. He asked her when they conceived, and she mentioned a day that he knew he had been on vacation. Update 3. A lot has happened since my last update.
A lot? More than this?
Dude, what?
I don't want to know.
What?
Where the police are on their way.
I hope so.
Here come the police, dude. She's going to do something crazy. She's going to like show up at the house, or she's going to break into like their parents' house to like steal like knickknacks or something. She's going to go completely off the deep end.
Dude.
That's my prediction. But we've got to have cops coming up.
Dude, make it stop. Make it stop.
The only
Oh
way
my
we can make it
God.
stop is if you read.
Dude. Oh,
Oh my God.
Update 3. Hopefully, this will be the end of the story. Marjorie's brother became very concerned after speaking to me and apparently questioned Marjorie extensively about her behavior. She continued to claim that she was pregnant with Jonah's baby and that they had a lengthy affair. But the details didn't add up. The brother knew Jonah pretty well and was generally aware of his work schedule, etc. She said they were meeting at a hotel at lunchtime 3 days a week, but he knew that Jonah came home for lunch with me every day, stuff like that. He went home late that night to sleep on it. After he went home, Marjorie came over to see me at 3 a.m. She started screaming at me to come outside, saying that I had ruined her relationship with Jonah and how happy they were before me, etc., etc. I called the police and her brother, who both arrived at the same time. She pushed the police officer who tried to ask her what's going on and was immediately arrested.
Yeah, that's a bad move. They'll do that to you. When you push the police officer, they will push you to the ground and arrest you. And that just goes to show how psychotic she truly is right now. She immediately started fighting a police officer. She's almost as psychotic as Riley.
I feel bad for her, brother, but he just apologized to me repeatedly. Marjorie yelled explicitives and tried to demand special treatment because the police were apparently hurting her baby by keeping her in the car. I gave a statement and they left. By the way, please don't leave us. What you got to do, go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, search up OKSTORYTIME, OK Storytime, and there we will keep you present with all of the freaking stories we have available. Go check it out. We have a little bit left. Not exactly sure what happened after, but her brother says she is now under psychiatric evaluation and is apparently struggling with a mental disorder that wouldn't name. She has apparently not been taking her meds in 2 years. I didn't ask for details, but it seems she's going to get some help. I'm not pressing for any sort of charges. Her brother also links me to this post on social media where he made it very clear that Marjorie has been having some difficulties and absolutely none of what she said about Jonah is true. I'm glad to see this seems to be over, but I've decided I need a fresh start no matter. I'm looking for a job out of state, and I'll be doing my best to leave my life with Jonah behind. Thank you all for your help and encouragement. Wow. Girl, hopefully you get your life. You're good. But wow, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.